What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Chris Brown is back with Royalty, his latest studio album. And let's address the elephant in the room. Did Chris Brown put out a better mixtape than his album? I'm going to go with yes, because the mixtape to me was more diverse, it's more free flowing, and I think, and not just the fact that it had 34 songs, because I've been listening to the mixtape still, and I'm still trying to break it down to the best of the best. I think I'm at like 21 songs now, but I think I'm enjoying it a lot more than the album. The Royalty is like a mix of that R&B, that pop, and that EDM stuff that Chris Brown's been doing. It's kind of like X, but less quality wise. With the title being Royalty, I was named after his daughter. I was kind of hoping for some music that was kind of reflective of him having a daughter, some kind of an R&B song, something that one day Royalty will listen to and be, like, oh, he made a song about me, something like that. But he didn't really have that. So I was just kind of confused at like why he picked out the title. Like I get why he picked out the title, but I kind of felt like the music would reflect the title at some point during the project, but it never really did. And another thing that I didn't really care for about the album is that he has a lot of different ideas that have been rehashed, from others. I don't know if you've seen that Father, the guy who made the Look at Wrist record last year, was kind of on Twitter, kind of called out Chris Brown for making the R&B version of his song Wrist. And that record in general, I just didn't really care for it. I don't think Chris Brown's part's too bad, but you got this dude named Solo Lucci who sounds like a Future clone. And it's crazy because Future's on the album. Like, if you wanted somebody to sound like Future, why didn't you just have Future on the album twice? I just don't get how artists are happy with themselves for sounding like another artist. And this is not even like maybe like a subject matter jack or like a flow jack. This is like a full on. This sounds like it could be a discount Future. From his entire appearance on the project on the song. So I didn't particularly like that. But another idea that was rehashed that I liked was Pitch Me Rolling. The part that I was looking at, and I know that the title is, the Tupac, but the part that I was looking at was kind of like Regulate from Warren G and Nate Dogg. He has that part where it's like that Nate Dogg flow, and I liked it. I like the record in general. It sounds like something, very West Coast, and it's one of my standouts on the project. And then the other idea that obviously is the most recognizable is Who's Gonna. That's obviously a remake of Keith Sweat's Nobody. When you listen to it, you hear it. I can't say that I was too big on it. It's hard to take an idea that's already been done and try to flip it in your own way and still make it as good. I think you're always going to be compared to the original, and that's the case here. I feel like Keith Sweat obviously had the better version, but Chris Brown's take isn't bad. It's just not up to par with what I thought it could be. Going back to a couple of my favorite records, I like Zero. I feel like that hook is just amazing. Like that's really what draws me in is that hook. I feel like it could be a big single for him, maybe, hopefully. I know it came out before that album. I tend to stay away from like singles. I might listen once or twice, but I don't want to oversaturate it because I want that album experience to be, better. If I get to like a song that I've heard several times before the album, I'm not gonna be as interested in that particular song, so I kind of wait. Another record that I really enjoy was Proof. I feel like it's like the traditional R&B, and it's produced by, or not produced, it's written by Bryson Tiller. So, you can kind of hear Bryson's, style in that record. And I liked it. I thought it was a good record. Another thing that I wanted to highlight that Chris does a few times, and I believe Solo Lucci did as well, I want artists to stop singing and rapping about Dirty Sprite. I don't care if you sip lean or whatever. I just don't want to hear it. Like, if I want to hear that type of thing, I'll go to the man that's making the best type of music for that, and that's probably Future. So, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of artists are hopping on that bandwagon. I don't want to see it. I don't really want to hear Chris singing about, Dirty Sprite, a double cup. Like, that's just not the Chris Brown that I enjoy, the Chris Brown that I like. Another record that I didn't like was No Filter. I feel like it's a diet version of Zero. When you have that, he continues to talk about he has no fucks to give, and that's what, No Filter is all about. And that's pretty much what Zero's about. They're just kind of, similar records, but one's better than the other. But, kind of wrapping it all up, I feel like he did set himself up a little bit for failure. I mean, I'm sure this album is going to sell well. Chris Brown has a great fan base. But from my personal standpoint, I feel like the mixtape is always going to be better. And he set himself up to fail, at least musically wise, because the mixtape is just superior to this album. And I don't feel like this is Chris Brown's best album overall. I still flock to X as my favorite. I really liked that album last year. So yeah, now I had 3 questions for you guys. Which track is your favorite? I discussed some of mine. I want to know yours. Number 2, do you prefer the R&B Chris or the pop side of him? You can throw in like the little pop / EDM. Which side, do you like better? Excuse me. And lastly, Before the Party, the mixtape, or Royalty, the album? Which one was better? Let me know in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at SermonsDomain. As always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.